Hello, my name is Brayanoski.
And I'm Austin Morales, and you're watching The Inner Gamer On.
And today we'll be talking about Todd Howard discussing a little bit on Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6. So we dive in a little bit on what Starfield could look like and what we want from a Bethesda space-faring RPG. So here we go. Let's dive on in.
And as always, if you enjoyed this content, please like, subscribe, and bang that bell, because you know you want to do it. For the Howard, Todd Howard.
Todd Howard has come out. Our buddy over at Bethesda Game Studios has come out in a event where they were talking about the story of Todd Howard, Bethesda, the growth of various things. It was on GameIndustry.biz where they talked about this at the Brighton Digital Conference, and Howard talked a little bit about Starfield and the Elder Scrolls 6 that is currently in development. So he has confirmed that there will be no multiplayer aspects for the single-player adventure in regards to Starfield. And I'm guessing Elder Scrolls 2. But he mentioned that the Elder Scrolls 6, both the Elder Scrolls 6 and this game, will somehow leverage procedural generation to help create life within the game's settings, and that the universe of Starfield will be so much larger than Fallout 76. Which Fallout 76 was already 4 times the size of Skyrim. So it's going to be a very big world and have lots of stuff in it, but they're going to leverage procedural generation, which I'm immediately thinking of No Man's Sky when I think of that, because it is a Starfield like space game. But I'll be curious to see how they handle that. But he did clarify that doesn't mean the in-game world itself will be randomized, but it'll be a blanket experience for all with minor differences. What those differences are doesn't seem to be clear yet. They also confirmed that Bethesda is working on a total engine overhaul that will benefit Starfield and the next gen of Elder Scrolls. But it's still going to be a little bit before we get the game in our hands. What that time is, we don't really know, but I'm guessing like it won't be next year. It'll probably be the year after that.
Yeah.
But the last thing that they confirmed is that the Elder Scrolls 6 will be, both Starfield and the Elder Scrolls 6 will be day one Game Pass editions. So now with the acquisition of Microsoft, when these games come out, you will be able to get it day one on Xbox Game Pass included. So what do you think, Austin? Any thoughts on new engine? What do you want from Elder Scrolls? Things you want from Starfield?
I don't even know what I want from Starfield, because I don't even understand what this game is yet.
That's the thing I'm at like too. I'm like, is it going to be kind of like Mass Effect, or is it going to be kind of like No Man's Sky, or I feel like one of the staples of Fallout and Elder Scrolls is like, it's an RPG. You walk around in this world, you go up to people, and you have like talking heads that you interact with and have dialogue choices. Like that's basically what every Bethesda RPG is.
Exactly.
It's a very formulaic and very bad, and just
they have showed nothing. They have no trailer. Like I have no words for it. I mean, there's nothing to say.
But would you want it to be like kind of like Fallout in space, where
that'd be nice.
I
guess they had one.
I was gonna say, would Outer Worlds classify as that, or is that not necessarily?
Yeah, I mean, it's very. I think it has the Bethesda. Oh well, it's in the same vein as what a Bethesda game would be. I just want like a really cool story that drives the player forward and keeps me interested and keeps me going, and I want to see what's around every corner and have those awesome NPCs that make me want to do their side quests that turn into their own main mission type thing and explore, asteroids and find cool stuff and loot and things like that. Like everything that we would see in a Fallout or a Bethesda game. That's what I want.
What I'm curious to see with this game is how are they going to treat it, because it is space, and space is so much vaster than like Fallout 76 takes place in West Virginia. What was Fallout 4 took place in DC, right? The DC area.
I think so.
Yeah. So like you have them in these like isolated locations. So I wonder will this game be one big gigantic open world on a planet, but it's called Starfield. So I'd imagine not. But how are they going to treat it? Because, with like Mass Effect, they made it to where you basically like find a planet. And Mass Effect 2 and I think 3 was like this way too. I mean, it wasn't any like open world regions necessarily. It was just like you find a planet, you found a location to drop in on, and you dropped in like an open area space. But it wasn't like you had this vast, huge open world to go into. they could go as far as No Man's Sky, where like every planet is like living and breathing and stuff like that. But would they have curated planets where there's like 3 or 4 planets to choose from, or would you have a bunch of planets to go to? And if so, like how would they contain that story bit to it? Or would you just have it on one planet and like and then maybe like go to space a little bit? Like I don't know how they're gonna. I mean, this sounds like it could be easily be a very epically large game that could become a problem because it's so big.
Yeah,
to maintain the
almost
story
thinking-
that people come to these games for, because like No Man's Sky was very grand and big and had lots and lots of stuff to do. Eventually added a story to it, but I don't think the story was like as huge of a thing as like exploring the world.
Yeah. Well, just to clear something up. Fallout 4 was in Boston and Fallout 3 was in DC.
That's right. Okay.
I'm thinking of what's that? Beyond Good and Evil, where they wanted to have multiple planets that you can fly to, and like you come up, like you land and it's seamless, and you take off the planet, it's seamless.
Yeah.
And all this seamless travel between planets and doing things and stuff like that. I feel like that's almost what they need. But I don't think they need like a whole galaxy. They don't need No Man's Sky. They just need 5, 6, 8 planets that you can go to with missions on there, and I think that'd be cool. I mean, even if you had like 3 planets, but
yeah,
it's going to be a problem, obviously.
Yeah,
because how do you do? I mean, you can't make full planets.
It's gonna be hard to contain that scope.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, if it is, what do you call it? Procedurally generated, it's going to be a little easier, but even with No Man's Sky, I think we've seen problems with that.
Yeah.
And how do you place cities and outposts and stuff like that where it's, I guess not, because No Man's Sky was very barren.
Mm-hmm.
And you could find stuff and do things, but I don't think that was as intuitive as it should have been. But I don't know. I mean, having a whole planet to go through sounds fun, but making it actually play and be fun is a whole different story.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like there's gonna have to be some level of curation and custom design in those areas to make them really interesting. Because, I know one of the things that you like about Skyrim, and like most people like about Skyrim, is like the ability to discover new things at every corner. Or like Zelda Breath of the Wild, like that was like you go around a corner and it's like there's a purpose for this object being here, and you want to find out what that purpose is. And with procedural generation, that's a lot harder to achieve. And it's like, what is going to be the thing that's going to keep you wanting to explore and find new things? If there's procedural generation in it, and how much of that is going to be curated and how much will not, and then what level of depth will there be with the story? Yeah, it's gonna be tough. Like it's hard to kind of classify. Like I could see this game easily being like you have like 2 planets and maybe some space travel, but then you don't want it. I mean, in a game that's called Starfield, like you want it to have some like if you're in a space game, you want it to feel big. Like in Mass Effect, like even though you were limited to like certain planets and stuff like that, it still felt large because you would look at a world map that you would like pick planets on and zoom in on those planets and like go to those places, and some of them were like super super far from each other. So I'll be very curious to see how they build it out with this one. And then you got Elder Scrolls, which we haven't talked much about, but like, I mean, what's that going to look like?
I don't want to talk about.
Yeah,
I don't want to talk about that.
You're just like done. You just like screw Elder Scrolls.
It's so far away. I mean, I think, yeah, people know what we want.
What do you want? I don't know what you want.
We just want more Elder Scrolls.
Lame.
More of the same.
Lame.
Man, you're lame.
Elder Scrolls is terrible. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just a hater.